Hello everyone, it's NotaNoobPat, and welcome to Perk Review. Today we're taking a look at the level 40 Jeff Johansen perk, Distortion. This perk operates on a token system, and a survivor is going to start with 3 tokens. When a killer reads your aura, a token is going to be consumed, and for 10 seconds, your aura and scratch marks are hidden from the killer. The one caveat to this is that this perk will not trigger in the dying state. You are most likely to get your aura read when a killer uses the perk Nurse's Calling or BBQ and Chilli. However, there are less common examples like Bitter Murmur, Territorial Imperative, and I'm all ears. And there's a few more on top of that as well. The pros are that this perk counters Nurse's Calling and BBQ, which are very high level killer perks that are quite frequently used. No scratch marks in addition to the invisible aura for 10 seconds is also pretty cool if you plan on moving around a little bit. Then, if you are surviving with friends, you can also alert them and let them know what perks you think the killer is using, kind of acting like a scout. The negatives are that 3 tokens can go very quickly if you're not careful. That's 3 hooks with BBQ, or 1 full heal can trigger 2 tokens with Nurse's Calling, depending on the heal speed. So, they go quick. You have to use your tokens wisely. In some cases, the killer uses no aura perks, so while it's awesome that the killer doesn't have Nurse's Calling or BBQ, this perk would be relatively useless. In other cases, they're going to have 3 or 4 aura reading perks, and this thing's going to be gone in the first 2 minutes of a game. Then, as I highlight in our examples, if you have teammates right next to you, this perk is essentially negated. With that being said, let's get into our examples. Here on the survivor side, I'm going to heal in front of a killer who is using Nurse's Calling. You can see here that I'm going to start with 3 tokens, and one of them is going to be removed when the perk activates. The 10 seconds is shown in the perk window, rotating clockwise for those 10 seconds. Again, it's important to note that this heal took up 2 tokens, which stinks, as I would only have 1 token left for the rest of the game. Then, on the killer side, I want to demonstrate how this perk works too. I am rocking Nurse's Calling, and I could normally see the survivor's red aura like in the top right corner, but since the survivor has this perk, they are invisible as you can see. One downside is that this perk only covers you, so if another survivor is healing you, their aura will still be visible while you are invisible. This is a major downside of the perk, as you will use a token for virtually no protection except for the lack of scratch marks. Then, I wanted to display that this perk doesn't work in the dying state, as you can see here with both auras being red. Let's get into our examples. I'm unfortunately going to focus on the negatives to begin these examples. To start, I already know that the killer has BBQ. One of my teammates is downed, and I'm going to try to get away from my teammate, so I run over to the chest, and my teammate comes over right behind me, essentially aura sandbagging me. So the killer is going to know what area I am in, even if my aura is blocked, because my teammate is right next to me and his aura is likely being red. In this next one, the invisible healing example pops up. The killer has Nurse's Calling and activates my Distortion. I realize this a few seconds too late and try to run away, but the killer has already saw my teammate's aura healing my invisible aura, so the Huntress runs over and drops me very quickly. Finally, for the last of our bad examples, I finish a generator with Claudette, and she decides to follow me around instead of leaving me, which means the killer again knows exactly where I'm at due to BBQ. I did bring this Rager medkit to heal myself, yet Claudette is still trying to be a good teammate and heal me, but she's unknowingly wasting my perk's use. Make sure to tell your teammates you're using this perk so that these types of situations don't occur. Let's get into our good example now. I'm surviving with 2 friends in this example, so I'm able to show how to properly use this perk and use it as a scout. To begin the game, I'm finishing a generator with Jane when the first survivor is downed and about to be hooked. Now, I'm able to tell my 2 other teammates that the killer is using BBQ because my aura is red and Distortion activates. Then, since I know the killer has BBQ, I hop in a locker the next time they down a survivor so I can conserve Distortion tokens. As I mentioned before, 3 tokens is not that many, so try to conserve them for when you need them. Later on, I have a choice. I can hop off of this generator and find a locker, or complete it. I decide to use my last token and complete the generator. Then, my teammate and I decide to head in separate directions so the killer doesn't find me when searching for the other survivor's aura. This pays off as the killer ends up running for my teammate, while I am able to get the unhook and heal my teammate. Finally, as the game is winding down and Jane is going to get hooked. Fortunately, since Distortion let me know that the killer is using BBQ, I'm able to hide in a locker and avoid having my aura red. This is going to allow me to spot the hatch right outside the locker, and I'm going to be able to escape. Again, this is how you should ideally use the perk. You should use it as a scout for your teammates and let them know what perks the killer is using. Then, you should use that knowledge throughout the game to conserve tokens, like me hopping in lockers. Then, if you have to use a token, it is okay. Just make sure to split directions with your teammates so the killer doesn't find you when looking for your other teammate's aura. So, let's give it a grade. Distortion is a 5.5, and let me tell you, it was tough to rate this perk. It's far more useful with Survive with Friend groups because you can scout and voice chat with your teammates to let them know what's going on. However, you saw how this perk may be a little bit lackluster in solo queue. This is because your teammates' auras will still lead the killer to you, even if you are invisible, because they'll be right on top of you. However, I wish this perk had more than 3 tokens, but oh well, it still has a very unique and helpful ability, but I think you should probably only use it with Survive with Friend groups. Therefore, I think a 5.5 is appropriate. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave it a like. If you want to check out more perk review, make sure to look for links in the description and visit my channel to subscribe. Take it easy.